Alright, so I'm not gonna lie. I thought the last video was gonna be the end of this story. I thought that Kathelina would just disappear off the internet after being exposed for trying to fuck her cousin. But, turns out, just last night, she came out with a response video, and it is, oh man, it is something alright. So first things first, she says she's sorry, and now she's on good terms with her family, which, to be expected, I kinda thought would be the case. I know there were rumors going around saying that she wasn't, but you know how the internet likes to be, making up lies about others and whatnot, so at least that's cool, I suppose. However, she then goes on to deny that she was fucking her cousin and says that the note that was put out there wasn't written by her and she has no idea what it is or where it came from or any of that.
And I also want to make this very clear. I did not have any sexual intercourse with anybody outside of my relationship.
However, if you're gonna ask my opinion, I think she's lying about that and she clearly knows that it makes her look pretty bad that she was planning all that stuff to do with their cousin. So it's like, bro, like why even bring it up anyways if you're gonna do this apology to begin with? Speaking of the cousin, she also says that those weird cousin vids where Kenneth and her pretended to be cousins and they were kissing or doing some weird shit for clicks on social media. Yeah, she says that that was Kenneth's idea. Something that I found super interesting.
I also want to make it clear that any cousin or stepbrother or any content like that we made together was his idea and he convinced me to do it.
Mind you, she doesn't really elaborate upon this. She just says that it was his idea and we're supposed to take her word for it. So, I mean, whatever, man, I guess. It is what it is. She would then post pics in the ambulance when she went to the mental ward after everything started going down in her real life. And so far, it's like a whatever video. She's denying things. She's trying to be like, oh guys, look at me. I went through so much mentally, which yeah, is true. But also at the same time, it's like you're fucking your cousin. So it's like, you know, you really should just stay quiet. But again, whatever, she made the video. But then she gets crazy about it because about halfway, 1/3 through the video, she accuses Kenneth of being abusive and accuses him of rape as well. Like, she don't say the word rape, but she very clearly implies it as such.
We had a lot of arguments throughout our relationship, which was normal, but what wasn't normal was the verbal, mental, and physical abuse that he subjected me to. He put me through a lot in the past 2.5 years of us being together. He even forced himself on me at one point. There was a time where me and my ex were drinking and he forced himself onto me. And it hurt and I cried and I begged him to stop, but he never did. At the time of my essay, he was very rough on me, which resulted in me getting a cut on my insides. Luckily, I was able to take video footage of the blood on the scene and a graphic photo of the damage that resulted.
I mean, that is just insane to say about somebody without any lick of evidence. Like, I would not say that about somebody if I didn't have any proof or there wasn't a story that sounded truthful going around. She just up and brings it out of nowhere and expects people to believe her. And then as her way of like backing up her claim, she would go on to show a bunch of crash out posts that he did, such as one time when he wrote a whole essay after they had a fight together in their relationship. I don't think it's personally that important, but I will show a couple on screen just so y'all understand their dynamic. It was clear it was a toxic relationship. We've seen it before. Some of y'all watching might have been through it, but usually when stuff like this happens, you keep it between the parties and whoever's affected, because when you bring stuff up that isn't relevant to the case, in this case, Kathelina fucking her cousin, what happens is that it starts to feel like a case of somebody who knows the writing is on the wall and so is now going on the offensive to take the other person down with them. And again, given how the whole situation has gone down, her coming out with this now after she's getting exposed for all this by her ex-boyfriend, it just reads like a level of petty and throwing shit at the wall in order to make the other person look bad cranked up to 11, because a whole lot of people know about this story, despite a whole lot of people never even hearing about these two before until a couple days ago. And then get this, at the end of the video, she says that she's gonna come back to the internet one day to help others in her streaming career.
I do want to come back. I do want to be able to use my platform to raise awareness for mental health, because I know there's a lot of people out there who are just like me, who are struggling and they don't even know it. I will be back to streaming and I will be back to doing what I love, because at the end of the day, I want to use my platform to help people. And I do believe after I get stronger and I get help, I can do that.
Now, when you see someone say something like this, 9 times out of 10, they're not trying to help others. They're just trying to revive their career. And in this case, it's very obvious her goal isn't to help others with the mental journey or blah blah blah. She just wants her career back. And I don't blame her for wanting her career back. Anybody who is in this space will want their career back. The thing is, when you just lie about it instead of being honest, you're gonna get a whole lot more people against you even more, because it's one thing if you're being honest and be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm gonna continue streaming, suck my dick. But then to be like, no guys, I'm coming back because I want people to see my mental journey or whatever. It just comes off as forced, cliche, fake, feels like something you're writing up a script about. Now, I thought it would take about a day or two for Kenneth to respond because I was asleep when the video came out and I missed the whole initial response that everybody was given. But Kenneth, just hours later, mind you, would upload his response to her video, and it is something else, bro, let me tell you. Very quick into the video, about a minute into the 30-minute response, he exposes that her YouTube manager, Kathelina's YouTube manager, would hit up Kenneth and be like, hey, a PR firm hit her up and they're trying to write this whole apology so she could get back at you. And sure enough, Kenneth would show a screenshot of what the PR firm sent her. This isn't no, oh, you know, rumors or he said, she said type shit. Nah, bro, you can see it right on your screen right there. The PR firm saw this story, went to Kathelina and we're like, hey, we're gonna help you. And in this case, at the expense of Kenneth. He then goes on to talk about saying how Kat was on many trips with her cousin. And at the time, he didn't really realize it was a cousin, but in hindsight can put two and two together. Now about that cousin content, I noticed when he responded to that part in particular, he never directly denies that it was his idea to make that content, but rather that the whole reason they made that to begin with was that Kat noticed that a lot of her followers didn't like Kenneth showing up because she was her boyfriend, and so saw it as a way to circumvent that somehow.
Like I said, bro, she did not want the internet to know that she had a boyfriend because it would make her lose followers. She kept on telling me that, and I wish I had screenshots from when, bro. I don't know what's going on my iCloud. I'm trying to get messages from like early 2024 to 2023, but I can't, bro. But I promise y'all, she would not want to post me. You could go on her page. She never had videos of me. It was always me, bro. I literally kept on telling her, why don't you post me? Why don't you post me? And she confessed this one time saying, my followers are majority males. They would unfollow me. I would lose all my followers, etc., etc., etc. She's sick in the head, bro.
It's a thing that happens in live streaming. There's been plenty of moments where someone finds a woman streamer and then they find out that she's dating someone and boom, there goes all their followers and shit. But it's just so odd. Then, of course, Kenneth would deny the rape and abuse allegations and says that the PR team was behind this and trying to basically slander his name. And honestly, given the situation going on, while I don't know if it was the PR team saying this, obviously he's just going off what he personally believes, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the case, because a lot of times when PR firms get into situations like this involving internet influencers, their whole goal is to protect their client, and they will do whatever they can to protect them, because if it goes bad, they're not going to be the ones at fault. It's going to be the influencer who they were protecting to begin with, because everybody's going to focus on them as they're the face here, and the PR firm is of course in the background. Now, I didn't get into the blood stuff even though I showed it to y'all earlier because it is some nasty shit, but Kenneth would reveal that it turns out this wasn't him forcing himself upon her. This was her, on her period, still being like, hey, we should fuck, and him going along with it because he was probably feeling some type of way that night.
Y'all seen how she just looked at the script?
Luckily, I was able to take video footage of the blood on the scene and a graphic photo of the damage that resulted.
Let me see this. Okay, yes. Okay. So, Saturday, July 13th, okay? 2 days before your birthday. There's blood on the floor, right? There's no way out of this one. Tell me why July 18th, the same year, by the way, a couple days after your birthday, there's blood on the sheets and on the pillows. You know why? Because you're a freak and you always wanted me to crack. Always. Even when you was on, you know, your period, that time of the month. You thought if I didn't do it, I would think of you as disgusting. I didn't love you. So you know what? That's when I explored that and we started doing that. And I always had consent because that's what you wanted. You liked doing vampire sex. So what's on the floor is not the results of me doing that to you. That's just consent and what we had going on. I would never force myself onto you. I always had consent. I had proof from you. You always expressed how you wanted to do it during that time of month. And we did.
This is kind of the big kicker here that really tears apart Kathelina's entire video, because the story she uses of him supposedly forcing herself upon him probably didn't happen. They just made that up because they're trying to make him look as bad as possible. And the fact that she saw this script, whether she wrote that, the PR firm wrote that, or they worked on it together and thought, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna say this out loud and basically try to slander this guy, that is disgusting, bro. I'm sure some of y'all have seen this a lot on the internet, but every time I see it, I never fail to have the same reaction of, wow, why? Why would you do that to somebody? That is one of the worst things you could do to somebody. You're putting yourself at risk. You're putting the other person into a bad spot based on a complete lie. And sometimes when people do this, they don't expect to get sued about it. Well, Kenneth would announce that he was going to take her to court over all this. And you know what? I don't blame him.
The fact that she cheated on me with her cousin. I never forced myself onto her. I never put my hands on her. I never forced myself onto her. Everything was consensual. Every fucking thing. And that's on everything. That's on God. That's on everything. I will be taking this girl to court because this, like, you're not finna fucking like that's defamation of character right there. That is sick. I didn't lie. I didn't say a single lie about what you did. I provided millions of evidence. I caught you. So why are you trying to make me look bad?
That would be the end of Kenneth's video. And yeah, this is a whole fucking situation now. I thought it was just gonna be that. Kathelina gets exposed, she gets off the internet, Ken goes on with his career. I thought that was gonna be it, but no. Now she's trying to take him down with her, and I don't think that's gonna happen because the internet is not on her side at all. The comments on Kathelina's video are literally just roasting the fuck out of her, bro. They're funny, I can't even lie, bro. I know this is a serious situation now, but dude, you can't help but just laugh at some of the shit people are saying, because at the end of the day, this is all entertainment for a lot of people. Now, I think this is going to be the end of the story. I'm sure that Kenneth is sending some sort of court paper, lawsuit, or whatever over towards Kathelina's way, and they'll probably both have to be quiet as they deal with that whole mess. So, if anything happens, I'll be on the case.